Now, when it comes to today's video, guys, I'm going to be giving you the best settings for beginners within Apex Legends, especially going into Season Legacy, which is Season 9 of Apex Legends, to help you guys maximize your skill and get an opportunity to frag out as much as you want going into this next season, especially for my ranked grinders out there. But also, I wanted to go ahead and preface this. Experienced players can also use some of these tips as well, because I don't want to alienate the group of players that still play Apex, but I want to also help people that are coming into the game, that are picking it up for the first time, and they want to have a chance to have some success within the game. So with that, I'm going to be helping you guys out. Welcome to the channel. It's your boy Till here. Hey, this is my TILLHOUSE Plays channel, so we'll be doing a lot of Apex Legends content, especially helping you guys out with settings, sensitivity, and also some of the best loadouts and things of that nature. So if you are interested in that content, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and turn on those notifications. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first things first, here at the main menu, what we want to talk about is just basic settings. So we're going to be going over things like audio, visual, certain settings that you should have in order to maximize your opportunities, especially quickly within fights. So getting into it already, the first thing we're going to talk about is crosshair damage feedback. Now, the difference with this, right? Some people like to run this completely off, and I understand why, right? Because you feel like you are on target a lot easier and you get no indicator. So just to give you an example of what this looks like, as you see, I'm in the firing range, and when you're shooting at the target that's in front of you, you're getting no indicator as far as a hit marker, right? So if you play Call of Duty or any other shooter, those hit markers, those X marks will show up each and every time you're getting a hit. Now, for me personally, I like this with X with the shield icon. It lets me know whenever I crack somebody within the game, and I know I'm already working on their flesh. So from there, I don't have to worry about if I'm actually hitting them or not. And sometimes with this feature, it also helps my eyes refocus back on the middle. But as far as a tip, I would say have X with shield icon on. I feel like this will help you out, especially in those chaotic movement situations. Now, as far as some other settings that I would go ahead and suggest, weapon auto cycle on empty. I would put this on, especially if you are one of those people that tend to not pay attention to your ammo and you're just going into fights back to back to back. You want to make sure your weapon is switching the second it runs out of ammo. That way, once you know you're out of ammo in your EVA 8 or your Wingman or your R9, it'll automatically switch to your Spitfire and you'll be okay in those fights, especially chaotic moments. Now, this is a big one here. Taking damage closes death box or crafting menu. If you're ever in a situation where you just finished a team and you know for a fact that somebody's getting ready to push you, and most times than not in Apex Legends, there will always be a third party. You do not want this on, because what's going to happen is if you go into a fight, you finish a fight and you're surviving, if you take damage and this is on, what's going to happen is it's going to instantly close that box and you're probably not going to be able to get that shield. And if you keep taking damage, it's going to keep closing every time you reopen it. So with that, if you go ahead and leave this on off, you can be quick about getting to the shield a lot faster. And now you're going from a blue to a purple, or a purple to a purple, and you guys get the gist. Now, as we're moving on to accessibility, I want to show you two pictures between the difference of having colorblind mode as far as Tritanopia, or having it all the way off in general. Now, one crosshair which is off is going to have a red crosshair. The second one is Tritanopia, and what that does is it changes your reticle to yellow. Now, unfortunately, Apex is not giving us the ability to change our reticle's color, but with that, guys, I feel like this allows me to refocus on the target at hand, especially in dark areas of the map within Apex, or even in super bright areas. Sometimes that red crosshair just gets a little bit too mingled between shields, player skins, and everything else, but when I see that yellow reticle, I feel like I can focus a lot better. So I would suggest you run on Tritanopia, and that'll be a good setting for you. You can make a decision on that yourself. Now, on to controller settings. Now, when it comes to the button layout, a lot of people don't show this, but personally, I like to run button puncher. And the reason why is because I like my crouch on my right stick, simply because I feel like I can react a lot faster, especially with slide hopping when I'm trying to get from one place to the next. So with that, I have an Elite 2 controller just to show you what I'm working with. And on the back here, I have my two paddles, and one is set on my left side to A for jump, and the other one is set to X for reload. So with that, guys, I suggest button puncher because most people don't melee that much, and if you do, you're obviously committed to it. So if you are gonna melee, I would suggest button puncher. So now that we're into controller settings, with the interact reload button, I would go ahead and put this on tap to use and reload. Menu cursor speed, please increase this at least to 25 to 40% here, right? Because what this does is once you go inside a death box, or if you're looting from the Loba black market, this will make it to where your cursor is moving a lot faster. So now we're in the nitty gritty of the video. A lot of people want to know what sensitivity they should run and etc, etc. I'm gonna suggest for anybody that's a beginner, that's coming to this game for the first time and they're not necessarily used to how this game plays, 4-4 sensitivity, classic response curve, and a small dead zone. The reason why is because this game does not prioritize the first shot as much as other games. And what I mean by that is if you don't hit that first shot and you can still move and escape and then come back and re-engage in the fight, most times than not, you could still win it just because the time to kill is so much longer. So with look sensitivity, especially hip firing and things of that nature, you want to have at least a 4-4 because that gives you a good medium between hip firing, ADSing, and also your movement on screen. Now, for my experienced players out there, I know a lot of you watch guys like TILLHOUSE or whoever the case may be on the controller. 5-4 I feel like is a sweet spot for me. I'm even getting better with it. I'm a platinum 1 right now, pretty much solo queuing and ranked. So with that, guys, I would say look sensitivity, have that on 5-4 if you're an experienced player. And now we're on to video. Now with this, most people know to have their field of view, if you have the option in your game, a little bit higher, but most people don't understand why. So I'm going to show you two images within the firing range of one being 75 field of view, or 70 field of view, excuse me, and the other one is going to be 102. This is a significant difference in what you see on the map and what information you're receiving as far as what's around you. Now, some people like to run 110, which most predators and like high level players suggest running 110. But for me, I feel like the target can sometimes be a little bit too small from those 100 meters, 200 meters away, especially when you're trying to snipe or use your G7 scout. So with that, I would suggest a middle ground of 98 field of view to 102. I feel like that's a really good area for you to operate in, especially if you're playing on a 24, 28-inch monitor or 32-inch TV screen. And last but not least, the audio settings. Now, some people don't feel like this is important at all to them because they like the lore and the music behind the game. But with this, guys, I would suggest having your music volume all the way off, because when you're going into your very first drop in the game, they have that trail music that's going on from you dropping out of the drop ship. You want to make sure you can hear everything around you from all of the steps where people are. Maybe there's a full team literally trailing you. You want to be aware of that. So I would have my music volume on 0. I will also have the dialogue volume on 20% because sometimes your other teammates may just have banter going on. You may have a guy trolling you. So with that, guys, 20% is enough to hear if your teammates are getting knocked, or they knock somebody, or they need ammo or shields or health, or whatever the case may be. So with that, guys, now that we made it to this point in the video, if these settings helped you out in the slightest, make sure to like and also subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications. That way you will be in the know of each and every time I upload. But also, for my experienced players out there, did this help you in a little bit? Do we have a little differentiation between our settings and your settings? I know I've been playing Apex since season 0, right when they launched the game that February, and it was a crazy drop, and that Twitch stream that they had going on, man, that was exciting times. But outside of that, guys, season legacy on the way. I'm excited for it, looking forward to the grind and getting the new character in Valkyrie. But hey, my people, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.